Okay, Social Security statements have been posted for the 2023 results, or if you worked on a W-2 last year, and in 2024, the numbers are up. You can find your statement, your Social Security statement, at ssa.gov. You go in there and then you open up a My Social Security account. You got to get a user ID and a password. Wait till you have some time with some patience. And I'd suggest any of you that haven't done this at this point, you need to go open one of these accounts, and you can, instead of waiting in the mail, which you get them sporadically, you can pull your Social Security statement just about any time you want. And so what we're talking about today is we have an example of a Social Security statement, freshly updated, of a high earner, and we're going to go over that today. I want to bring Tom on to really talk about why we're doing this video.
We're doing this video because Social Security is one of the most important decisions you're going to make when you enter into retirement. And what we really want to illustrate today is how your 85-year-old self is going to be very thankful that you delayed the check if that's what you ended up doing. And so we want to walk through how you can do it, because what we end up seeing a lot of times is people, they retire, they look at this check and they immediately start it because they feel like they need the income. As their paycheck is stopping, this is an area I can get a check. And so they start it. And so we want to take a pause before you just immediately go do that. Let's think through this critically, make sure we're making just good decisions.
Okay, so we want to bring up the show notes, Tom.
Yeah, so let me bring up the show notes. These are at the link below our video. They're also on our website. We have the board here, and then we do have an example of a Social Security statement. And so, a couple things, I'll see if I blow that up a little bit. Yeah, a couple things that I want to point out is you'll see on the statement, they will show you sort of what the earliest benefit you could be. So if you're past 62, it will be like the next month that you could take it. If you are younger than 62, like if I pulled up my statement, it would just show the projected age 62 benefits, and then it goes year by year. Every month in between these different thresholds, it grows by a little bit. And so don't think you can only take it at these set amounts. You could take this really whenever you want. But on all the statements, it will have different ages. They'll have your full retirement age listed. So for this example, this person was born in 58. Their full retirement age is 66 and 8 months. And so that's this number. And then it grows every year you wait to take it. And so I think, like Hans says, if you've never gotten the Social Security statement, log in, create an account, because this is important. This is something we recommend everyone get when they come into us. They oftentimes, well, what do we need to bring? This almost always is the main thing we need. The other stuff we can get later, but we need to know this number because it matters in terms of the planning. We go through. There's more information in the statement. There's a lot. We're not going to hit everything here, but it will give you a lot of really important stuff going through there, and then talks about benefits of a spouse and things like that. The last page, and we'll get to this back on the board, is really how do we create this check? So if we're not taking Social Security, how do we create a check while we're delaying Social Security? And that's the example that we're going to talk about here in a second.
Okay, so in this example, this is a dude that's 65 and a half, just getting ready to retire. And in many cases, we have people in this situation. They've been a high earner. They've got a pretty good check, even if they're taking it a year early. And they have a big IRA account or 401k account, maybe some savings, and they're going to retire. And it scares the death out of them not to have a paycheck, even though they've got this big, large IRA. And it speaks to the fact that a lot of people, when they're at retirement, just before retirement or in retirement, they value income or a pension much more than they value assets. And the assets are valued to the extent that they can create income. So what we're talking about here is this guy in this example could take his Social Security right now. It'd be $3,464 a month. And we have people that come to us that have already done it. And they said, look, I wanted some check coming in just psychologically. I wanted to receive something for that Social Security. And then they'll throw in, I'm worried about Social Security down the line and blah, 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 blah. And what we always ask people when they're coming in to do financial planning is, do you have a plan for when you're going to take Social Security? I mean, do you have one already? Or what date are you going to start it? And then people will tell us whatever their plan is. And then my next question is, are you open to considering some alternatives? And kind of yes or no, because if you're not, then our job as financial planners is to make the rest of your money work with this amount at the date you've chosen to take it. But we're going to include the Social Security decision. As Tom said, it might be the most important decision that you make. So with this guy, he could wait every month and he'd get a little bit more. So every month you wait, you get more, and you get more for the rest of your life. And so at full retirement age, his check would be $37.86, and that doesn't look like that much to be. I mean, it's $300 a month. Might as well take it now if I'm retired or retiring, but it's building, and these numbers are going to be substantially better in later years. And if he waits all the way to 70, this check is going to be $4,882 a month. Some people say, well, my health is going to make it, so I'm not going to last that long. So I might as well take this smaller check now, and then I'll collect it for a lot more years. And I'm not going to live long enough to make this pay off. But this dude, along with a lot of other dudes, they have a spouse, and their spouse may have been a lower earner, or they might be going off the spousal benefit. So when a married couple, when the first one dies, the second one lives on, they get to keep the larger check, the smaller check goes away. So this guy, by delaying, even if he does pass away at 74 or 73 or 75, and his spouse lives to 90, she is going to collect that 4882 adjusted for inflation for the rest of her life. So they got two lives in a married couple that we're thinking about here. So we want to do this delay strategy, or consider it, with some of the most, with the person with the larger check. We're going to go ahead and take the other check. So we got a little income coming in at full retirement age of the younger spouse or the lower earner. And then we're going to try to delay and recommend to delay the larger check. So I want to bring Tom on just to talk a little bit about that at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is people have this sort of mental block of wanting a check. It's like my paycheck's stopping, I need a check coming in, and so they take it. And so we don't always recommend everyone delay till 70. I mean, if you need the money, go ahead and take the check because you need the money to come in. This is really speaking to the people that have saved well enough that they can afford to delay it. Is it makes sense to delay it not only for you, but especially for your surviving spouse if you're a married couple. Now, if you're single and you don't have a spouse and there is some health concerns there, then yes, that might be a reason to take it earlier than waiting till 70. And so this isn't just a blanket recommendation for everybody. It's specific to each person's situation. But more often than not, we are recommending to delay till 70. The difference between your full retirement age and age 70, every year you wait, it grows by 8% a year by delaying it. If we had investments that grew at a guaranteed 8% a year, we'd have a line out the door of people signing up, left and right. It doesn't exist. This is sort of the best source of income that you can get in retirement. It's adjusted for inflation and it grows by 8% a year by waiting. It's a really good deal. And so if you're open to it, I think waiting makes a lot of sense. Like Hans said, though, if you come in and you're really firm, I'm taking this now and I don't want to consider anything else. We're not going to, we might say, we might push back a little bit, but ultimately you're the client. You get to choose what you do and we will work everything else around that. But if you come in with an open mind, this might be something we're recommending for you.
Okay, Tom, could you bring up that last page of the show notes again with the example?
Sure.
Okay, so we have this Social Security Buster, Social Security delay tool, and we've kind of overstated this because what we do with people in this situation that have decided to take the 3464 now, not wait, give up the what is $1,400 a month for the rest of their life. And they're mainly doing it for cash flow purposes and psychological purposes of having something coming in. And they have a large IRA. What we do is we go to instead of replacing the 3464, we go ahead and replace the age 70 check as it's stated now on the statement of 4882, and we replace it for the next 5 years. And we do that with this product, which is called a single premium immediate annuity. It's our Social Security delay tool. And in this example, this gentleman can take $266,000 out of his IRA or 401k, put it into this single premium immediate annuity that pays $4,882 a month for 60 months or 5 years. So he's actually going to get an extra 6 months where he's going to get Social Security too, because it's just the shortest time they'll sell this for is 5 years. But you see where we're going with this is we take a piece of the IRA 401k and we replace the future check. And now he's got a guaranteed check of 4882 coming in instead of 3464. And, we delay the Social Security, and then we can grow the rest of his money, or we can do a lot of things with it. We maybe still need money to live. And we had a fellow that we were working with that he looked at this whole arrangement, and the numbers were pretty close. He said, I want to buy twice that income for 5 years because I need more than 4882 to live off of. He's going to have to pay a little bit of taxes because it's all coming out of the IRA. And then we added his wife's Social Security check, which was lower than his. She started it now. And, we put all that stuff together. He bought double this, plus her Social Security check, and it gets him ahead 5 years. And it gave us flexibility to invest and project and even take some losses if we have a bad year in the next 5 years. And he's not going to have to fret about it too much. So we have a lot of things. This is just one example. Another place I can go with this is somebody that had similar numbers to this, but they didn't have as much in their IRA. We could replace the 3464 income starting now for 5 years for a lot less than 266 grand. It'd probably get it down to around 160, 170. So if you had a smaller amount in your IRA and you just wanted to not bite off that much of it, and this was truly the check that you wanted, but you wanted to delay, we can do that for you. Okay, so now I want to just talk about the rest of your Social Security statement. I would suggest if you pull it down, well, it's fresh now for 2024, based on the 2023 numbers, that you go over the rest of the statement because there's a wealth of information in there. And we're highlighting some of it. Just we want to point out that each month you wait, you're now going to get the higher benefit for your entire life, plus your spouse's entire life if they live longer than you do. That's huge, and that's the benefit of waiting. There's inflation benefits every year. So you hear about that in the news once you get on this. So this number, by the time this guy actually gets to 70, will be larger than that because of inflation. The benefits last as long as you live. The benefits can be taxed. We have other videos where we talk about the taxation of Social Security and how we can move things around in such a way that we can lower your taxes on Social Security, but just understand that some of this will be taxed, your Social Security check. And then, if you take it before 66 and 8 months or whatever your full retirement age, you take it in this earlier time and you're still working and earning a substantial income, you're going to have to give some of your Social Security back. We've gone over the example, the Social Security replacement. So I just want to finish with a thought that I want you to understand that we are not pro-waiting for Social Security. We are pro-waiting if you're in good enough health that you perceive that you're going to have a long life. Secondly, if you're in poor health, but you have a spouse that may well live a lot longer than you, then we're for waiting. But then thirdly, we want to make sure that you have enough money to live on, that you can afford to do something like this. Because if you don't, we're going to be all for taking your Social Security early. there's a lot of factors that would make us against this, okay, as a strike on that. But for a lot of clients, this is the recommendation. Now, I want to bring Tom back on, and I want to hear some final thoughts from Tom.
Yeah, I mean, I think that last point you made, Hans, is important. Is this is always built in the context of a larger plan, right? This isn't just everyone needs to do this. Everyone put all your money, IRA money, into this so you can delay Social Security. It needs to be part of everything. We need to make sure that we're not, tying up too much of your money, because the annuity has downsides. Everything has positives and negatives, and so it needs to be, thoughtful. It needs to make sense in your own situation, but this, for a lot of people, this can make a lot of sense. And really, it's, if nothing else, it's really more of a behavioral benefit of just getting a check in each month is really nice. I mean, we could calculate all the interest rates, what the internal rate of return on that annuity is, make sure it's a decent investment for you. But at the end of the day, getting a check coming in each month, it eases your mind knowing that check's coming in every month, and knowing Social Security is going to start in the future at a much higher level. I've seen this leave people in a much, they feel a lot better about the situation than they did coming into it.
Okay, so in the context of a holistic financial plan, retirement plan, we're going to talk about all the factors that we put into there. And we talked about Social Security. That's what the whole show is about, the Social Security statement. We talked about 401k and IRA, which is where we dip from to move the clock ahead 5 years to take advantage of this. We talked about income, which is the amount of monthly income, which is probably going to be the most important thing to you once you're not getting checks from an employer. Even if you have a lot of money, it's daunting to try to take a bulk of money and create an income. I mean, that's what we do. And a Social Security check is a big factor in that. And it's somewhat tax advantaged. We talked about estate, and we talked about income taxes to the extent, because Social Security is taxable. And with that, I'm Hans Scheil.
And I'm Tom Griffith.
And we thank you very much for listening today.
Thank you.